of the Dixie Sun News at Noon. I'm Kiera Parham.
And I'm Hannah Hickman. Thanks for tuning in.
As of this morning, Utah has had 55,673 confirmed cases of coronavirus. Statewide, the death toll has reached 427. As of this week, there are 6 confirmed COVID-19 cases among DSU students, faculty, and staff, all of whom are self-isolating. Since May, DSU has had a total of 28 confirmed and recovered cases.
It has almost been 19 years since the terror attacks on the World Trade Center. Tomorrow, there will be a memorial held at the clock tower to commemorate first responders and fallen individuals. The memorial will take place at 9 in the morning and will include a balloon release in honor of fellow Utahns who lost their lives. Students are welcome to stop by and join the memorial.
Gentry has a new music video featuring students from DSU. Reporter Jordan Palmer went on the set to get the inside scoop.
2 years ago, a music video was produced on campus for Alex Boyer. And this week, another music video is being produced for a group called Gentry. Let's go on set and take a closer look. All sorts of students get a hand in the production of this music video. Student athletes, musicians, and digital film students all get to help make the music video. Student athletes and musicians get to appear as talent on screen, while the digital film students get real-world experience producing a music video.
So Gentry is actually short for the Gentleman Trio. It consists of 3 guys, myself and 2 others, Brad Robbins, Brad Lever. And we started the group about 6.5 years ago. This production is probably one of the biggest, though, that we've been a part of in terms of like people and just the scope and grandeur of it. The songs we selected are actually 2 songs, Rise Up and I Lived. You know, I think that those songs, especially this with what's going on, you know, this year and in the foreseeable future, just kind of speak to the resilience that everybody needs, but also kind of speaking to that kind of resilience that drives athletes.
For Dixie Sun News, I'm Jordan Palmer.
While there is not an official release date for the video, you can look forward to it coming out in the next few months.
The new Science, Technology, and Engineering building is slated to open for the fall 2021 semester. The building is being designed with the thoughts of students in mind. A focus group survey was taken to gauge how students want the new building to look like. For example, due to student requests, the building will feature an abundance of natural light. With the completion of this building, DSU can welcome an increase of student population and majors.
DSU now has flavors at your convenience. 3 DSU students created a service for Sodaholics that is affordable for students, and it's conveniently here on campus. Phil's Drinks is a drink refill subscription that is $19.99 per month that provides over 200 different combinations of Coca-Cola beverages and mix-ins. You can find the machine in the Brookstop Convenience Store campus. Those interested in signing up for the subscription can go to phildrinks.com.
Looks like e-scooters are rolling back into town. St. George City Council members unanimously approved for the popular scooters to return. The City of St. George and the e-scooter company Spin have agreed to place 250 scooters around town for a minimum of 2 years. In the past year, St. George accounted for 121,000 rides with an average of 21 minutes per ride. The official launch for the Spin scooter is set for September 28th at noon in front of the Holland building.
For those of you who are missing sports, an online alternative has been on the rise. Dixie Sun reporter Jordan Palmer has more.
Campus this year is a little different. Things that we're used to normally see. There's no foam dance, no homecoming baseball game, and the seats at Greater Zion Stadium will remain empty until the spring semester. But there still are teams out there representing the Trailblazer name. Allow me to introduce you to them. It's the Rocket League Trailblazer Gaming Team.
My name is Henrik Conley. I'm a film major here at Dixie State, and I'm also the game manager / coach for Rocket League Esports. Being a part of basketball team and being part of the esports team are actually kind of similar. A lot of people don't recognize that even though it's online and you're playing a game online, it's still very much like you got to be a part of a team. And there's still very much a real person on the other end that you're playing with. You got to be able to work with them like a normal teammate, like you would on a basketball court.
I played basketball for all 4 years of high school on the varsity team. I think it's completely the same thing. As much time goes into it as basketball, as any other sport, I'd imagine. You have to work well with others.
We've already found a little bit of success versus other universities. We're trying to get into more established competitions. I think we've beaten at least every university in Utah at least once.
We're going to be up there. I think we're really on the cusp of finding something, finding a groove, and being able to compete with some of the other colleges.
If you're interested in esports or any of the games that they play, make sure to check out the Trailblazer Gaming booth at Club Rush next week. For Dixie Sun News, I'm Jordan Palmer.
You can join the esports club on the Blazer Link website.
Swimmer's itch isn't the only thing that's got Hurricane residents worried. Last Thursday, the Hurricane City Council came together to discuss the controversial possibility of helicopter rides. The rides would be about 6 minutes long and would cost approximately $50. Although some local residents worry about the noise, the City Council members will be taking the tours themselves to get a better idea of what the tours would be like before making a decision.
I can see both perspectives, but I think it's a great opportunity for people to actually see the beauty of Sand Hollow.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility that can happen. I am not a big fan of airplanes, so I don't know if I would take a helicopter ride, but I'm looking forward to what the decision is.
After the break, we will have Michael sitting down with the head athletic trainer and his breakdown on this week's sports.
Get our print curve here. And there's the bottom. Does this one have more water?
Can you tell me why?
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
1, 2, 3, 4. 0.52 kilograms.
This graph is square.
Pretty close.
Artemisia is all the same pressure, but there's your needle and thread. Which one is this?
Come down. Perfect. Great. Sodium carbonate.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this.
I need a one dance.
And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Welcome back. Now that DSU Athletics is postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, life has changed for the athletic staff. Here to talk more about what the day is like for athletic trainers during the COVID-19 pandemic is head athletic trainer Kelby Hoffhines. It's nice to meet you, Kelby.
Nice to meet you too. Doing
Nice
well.
to meet you. Great, thanks for coming on the show, and let's get started. So, Matt, with fall sports being out of the equation now, what's the day in life like for you and other athletic trainers? Is it less busy or is it more busy now?
I would say it's a little bit more busy. You see us most people see athletic trainers just a game and events. A lot of our work's put in before and after. And so the before and after is still going on. We got kids prepping to, whenever their sport does start, to be ready to play. And so we run a full clinic. We have to follow some guidelines of numbers and stuff, but we're seeing athletes and getting them better and getting them back on the field for practice and play. And so with the added responsibility of COVID and making sure everyone's safe and on campus adds a little bit more work and different work. We jokingly say it's like we're starting over again in our career. Some of us that are veterans in this, because it's a whole new add to cover some of this COVID stuff and really be on top of knowing what's going on.
Now you mentioned that you yourself and other athletic trainers have more responsibilities with COVID. Can you name some of those responsibilities?
Sure. So we've had to kind of really change the way we do things, even from the beginning of getting a student athlete here with physicals and kind of some of that medical and health preparation. A lot of it's done online in smaller groups when they do come. And so that creates a little bit more work on our end. We don't have as many people that can come into our medical facility and get seen and treated, and we have to space those out a little bit more. And so we have that responsibility and the responsibility of making sure that they're healthy each day before they come, so that we really reduce that risk of exposure to other student athletes if they were to have the illness.
And now student athletes coming into practice every day, like what's the process like for an athlete and for yourself and other athletic trainers? And what's the protocols that student athletes have to follow?
Yeah, so our current protocol is once they've been cleared to participate and allowed back into facilities, on a daily basis, they get screened, a temperature check with a thermometer. They'll get a questionnaire. We're test piloting a few things, some of that done electronically, but still most of it in person, where an actual person is checking them in each day and making sure they don't have symptoms. A lot of the student athletes have gotten wise that if they do have a cough or whatever, they stay home and call and let one of us know. That's really the best case, to really educate them to not come to campus at all if they're not feeling well. But in the case that they do, and they're unsure, they have someone they can talk to when they get here, and so they get screened each day that way.
And now that they're getting screened, and checking temperatures, is there any other equipment that yourself and other athletic trainers are given to check for COVID-19 to see if athletes have COVID-19?
Unfortunately, there's not. I wish there was a scanning system. The best is symptoms, really making sure they don't have those. So just that questionnaire, as simple as it seems, just asking them every day and making sure they're being honest and educating them that, hey, it's important. We used to push through things as athletes, but this illness spreads so easily, we really don't want you pushing through. So just be honest with us. Let us know you have the symptoms. Temperatures will catch some of the cases, but not all of them. And it's showing to not always be the most effective, but it is a tool that we can objectively try to catch some of those cases. And so that's the only tool we have right now. Once again, probably you and I would be billionaires if we could come up with a way to really scan and make sure people don't have the virus.
Yeah, most definitely. Brilliant idea. And usually when you test student athletes, how fast do you get results back to make sure that athletes are coming back negative?
Yeah, so our test results come back within 24 to 48 hours. Typically, we've had some even sooner, depending on the load of the lab. And we work with a local lab, which is nice. They're right here. They actually do a couple other universities, athletic teams. And so they have a really good setup. And so us being local and connected to them, they really help us out that way. So it depends on the load of the community. If there's a ton of tests in the community that day, we're on the same path as them. We get the results when they do. But if they have a lighter day, sometimes we'll get it in less than 24. But they've promised us 24 to 48 hours we'll know results.
That's pretty fast. I would not expect that, but that's great for the athletes and you and the staff. That's amazing. And in an event that if more than one staff member or student athlete gets infected with COVID-19, what's the plan of action to make sure that everybody's safe and quarantined?
Yeah, so we feel like a really good policy this way. First and foremost, getting them taken care of, but their roommates are going to be their most likely to be exposed. A lot of times those are other student athletes. Those are the first folks that get reached out to and asked to isolate and quarantine and watch out for symptoms. And then we kind of go down the list. We do utilize the wellness center to let them help us with contact tracing. The state still does some of that as well. And then athletics, we try to take care of that the best we can. So we get one or two positive cases on a high-risk team, such as a football or basketball or volleyball team, then it'll shut the team down because of the interaction on a daily basis in practice. Some of the low risk, we have to really take into thought your golfs and tennis, where you can kind of stay away from each other, how we would shut that down or isolate or quarantine. But we're following a lot of the best practice that the NCAA's put out there in regards to that quarantine and isolation of exposed student athletes.
All right, it seems like a solid plan of action to keep everybody safe and not affected from COVID-19. And that's all I got for you, Kelby. Is there anything that you'd like to add that I haven't asked?
I think the plan in place is going to allow these kids to hopefully we get back sooner and faster to sports safely. And so by adhering to kind of these policies and procedures, as tough as they seem right now, will really give us an opportunity to be back on the field and keep everyone healthy, and not only our student athletes, but our community at large, Dixie State's campus and our local community of St. George. And so we're just trying to do our part to make sure everyone stays healthy and safe and still get the enjoyment out of sports here, hopefully again real soon.
Yes, most definitely. Hopefully soon we get sports back and go back to the original normal, not this normal that we currently live in.
Yeah.
Kelby, I got to say thank you again for coming on. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Happy to be here. Thanks.
When we come back, I'll have the latest in sports.
Kevin, get our career. And there's the bottom.
Does this one have more water?
Can you tell me why?
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
0.52 kilograms. This graph is square.
Pretty close.
Artemisia is all the sage brushes, but there's your needle and thread. Which one is this?
Sodium carbonate.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this.
I need a one dance.
And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Welcome back. The DCU football team was awarded the Life Saving Medal Award by the DC Department of Public Safety. The Life Saving Medal is only awarded to individuals who performed a rescue or attempted rescue at the risk of his or her own life, and the Trailblazers definitely filled that role on 2 different occasions. Football head coach Paul Peterson says our kids have definitely stepped up to help out when these opportunities have presented themselves, and they've done so in a shining manner. I'm very proud of them. Congrats to the football team and keep on serving the community well. DC is adding more construction on campus with its sights on a new sports medicine center. To celebrate the 10th anniversary of their sports medicine partnership, Intermountain Healthcare donated $100,000 to DSU to help support the new sports medicine center. The new building will provide student athletes with NCAA Division I medical care, academic opportunities, sports psychology services, rehabilitation, and much more. This asset will be available to student athletes starting in the first quarter of 2021. Get those I voted stickers out because Election Day is approaching in 2 months. The Western Athletic Conference announced earlier this week the enactment of WAC votes. This allows all 9 institutions the participation of willing and eligible WAC student athletes, coaches, staff, and fans to vote in the upcoming general election. Now student athletes have the opportunity to learn the importance of voting and exercise their civic responsibility. You can find voting resources at wacsports.com/wacvotes.
I had no clue that student athletes in the WAC weren't able to vote.
Yeah, me neither. And I think that goes for every Division I school, and that now I'm glad that they get the opportunity to vote now.
Yeah, that's something that we have in common. Actually, myself and student athletes, I've never been able to vote before until this upcoming election because of age. So I'm ecstatic for this upcoming election. I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that.
I definitely agree as well. And that's it for this week's edition of the Dixie Sun News at Noon.
We will see you here next week, same time, same place.
Have a great week, Trailblazers.